Hello everyone, my name is Christian. Welcome back to Tekpon. Today our guest is Daria from Support Your App. Hello.
Hi, Christian. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Excited to meet you. Please tell us more about your company.
Sure. So, as you said, I'm from Support Your App. Support Your App is a SaaS company, but in another definition way as a SaaS, because it's a support as a service. So we provide customer and technical support for other IT companies all over the world in 55 languages.
Well, so that's the biggest problem that you solve. You outsource support.
So I would say that the biggest challenge and problem that we solve to our clients, I would say, scalability. Can you imagine you're launching product or you're launching a service using, I don't know, Product Hunt or like a huge marketing campaign? And then you have many, many requests of your users, whether it's potential clients or it's existing clients asking you questions about these new features or about the product itself 24/7. So the user base can be from different countries, and here we are. Basically, we solve this problem, this challenge. We provide our services 24/7, 365 days a week, a year, and in 55 languages. Yeah. So I would say that it's basically the main focus for us.
Well, so SaaS, but support as a service.
Yes, support as a service,
I like
correct.
the definition. I like the definition.
Thank you.
So what services do you offer? What are the type of, yeah.
Yeah, I would say that the biggest part for within our scope of services that we provide is customer success and customer support services. We also do technical support, whether it's different levels. It could be level 1, level 2, level 3. We can also do KYC services as well as the data entry or data annotation services. So everything that is basically BPO services, business process outsourcing. So that's what we do.
So why do you think companies should outsource their support? Because there are a lot of companies that say that they should make their brand and they treat their customers their own way. What's your take on this? What's your view on this?
Yeah, we didn't say that we are just, another company for our clients. I would say that we an extension for their internal teams. Because sometimes we work very close with their internal support teams as well. For instance, they could have level 3 support, very technical customer or technical support team in-house. However, for 80% of requests, they don't need to have like this sophisticated team. That is why we always say that we kind of extension to their existing team, and we always work as a partners because there are many processes that we can improve only working side by side.
I now understand. So, yeah, there are different level of support.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
But every client is unique. For some of our clients, I would say that we take care of 100% of their support operations. But for some of our clients, it could be like only 60 or 70%. It really depends on their size, on their requirements.
hmm And can you share with us some pricing plans, or how does your pricing work?
Yeah, it's very complex question, and you can't always answer if it comes to not a product that you can purchase online,
Yes.
but to the service.
Yeah.
And there are many criteria that really, they have impact on price structure. Again, the team size, whether you need one person or 100 people. Again, languages. Maybe you need Hebrew-speaking person. Maybe you need to have a Japanese-speaking person or bilingual, for instance, German and English. Again,
Oh.
the prices for them will be also differ. Or also whether it's 24/7 or business hours or extension to business hours or night shifts. And again,
Yes.
whether it's with a technical background or just a customer care level 1, where you need to have, let's say, the skill set will be more based on soft skills like empathy rather than on technical background. So taking into account all these criteria, we always then give a proposal and try to make it tailor brand.
And how big is your team?
Currently, we have more than 1,000 people.
Wow.
So I would say closer to 1,200 already.
Wow. And do you also hire freelancers as translators, or how does it work?
No.
Do you prefer hiring them internally, or?
Yeah, we have our people internally because we have our internal different procedures. For instance, before the person joins our team, of course, we have the interviews. And it's not only one interview, we have different stages of these interviews. So we have 2 interviews at least. And then for some of our clients, we also have, I would say, interviews with our clients, because clients would like to know, okay, whom we're going to work with. So then we have like this extra interview process, let's say interview stage. When, let's say, we agreed to work with a person, and the person says, okay, I will be happy to join your team. Then we again have the KYC procedure to make sure that this person loyal in terms of, like carrying information, because sometimes we work with the fintech industry and we have access to sensitive data or financial data. So that is why we need to make sure that people that we work with, we can rely on them.
Absolutely. And how do you manage all these people? It seems amazing. I don't know, can you share with us some tips or some key learnings of yours?
Christian, I founded this company together with my partner 12 years ago. But every year, every month, I would say there is something you also you learn basically about people, about managing. And unfortunately, there is no silver bullet to manage those people. But what I think, again, based on this experience and years that we've been growing, that you need to be, again, an example for your people. You can't tell them that your company has values if you do not, let's say, you do not feel those values on your own. And as well as other things, like very basic things like respect, or how you talk to people, or if we're talking about service orientation, or if we're talking about client first, you need also show how you your attitude is towards the clients, and many more. So there are many different practices, techniques, but I would say that again, there are
lead by example.
Much more, and much more to have in the future. But also, what I think that is really a good thing, I'm keen about it. I love it. It's basically just simple instructions. We call them SOPs, it's standard operations procedures. But if we have some processes inside, I always try to make sure that our team, writes everything down. Because if we're going to grow again, we were talking about scalability. You don't need to, ask someone to spend time with you and explain how everything works. You have everything on paper.
Yes. So
it's something that I really like, and we have many of those documents because they really help us, and many, many, many different things as well.
So long-term thinking. And a quick question: can you share with us the software that you use to keep all those documents together?
Yeah, so basically we do not use the different software. We just use an enterprise account for Google, basically. And it allows us to have these different folders, all this SOPs content in one place. Of course, for our clients, we use, previously we used Wiki for creating knowledge base. Currently, we use Bookstacks. Some of our teams, they use Notion. So it also depends
Yes.
on our clients' preferences, but it's better than nothing.
Absolutely. And when did you start the company?
In 2010. So basically, on 1st of October, we will turn 12 years.
Wow.
And currently, by the way, we have 2 more spin-offs. We have 2 more companies. And
Okay.
as you know, like the name of our companies Support Your App, but we also have company that basically the company does annotation services for AI and computer vision and NLP. So the company called Label Your Data. Also, the third company, it's Outstaff Your Team. And it's for outstaffing developers already for other IT companies. So very, like similar names. Everywhere is
It's
your
a pattern.
yeah. Support your app, label your data, outstaff your team.
And why did you start your company? Or what was the idea behind it?
12 years ago, to be honest, I didn't have any idea at all. I was a student. I was very, very young. And, but I knew that I want to grow. I knew that I want to develop myself and become a new version of myself as well. 12 years ago, basically, I came to work to customer support department of one IT company. And, it just happens like this. So also one friend of this company where I was a customer support representative came to us and asked, okay, guys, you already have 24/7 support team. We are launching our product to the USA market and we didn't have phone support. Can you please help us with this application?
Yes.
And we said yes, but we even couldn't, figure out what kind of price model should we suggest, how we can organize everything. But we just said yes. And by the way, this client has been working with us for 12 years already. And the company is called MacPaw. They have this application, Clean My Mac. If you have Mac, probably you try them because they're very well known. They have many other applications right now. But yeah, back 12 years ago, Clean My Mac was one of our first client.
Amazing story. And was this your first startup?
Yes. Yes, and I would say that it's the startup and the company itself was growing very lean. So we just bootstrapped, and I couldn't say that we grow very rapidly. I would say that to have first 100 people in the team, it took us about 4 or 5 years. But after that, when we already became, I would say solid in terms of understanding the processes, we already started growing and started working with more well-known bigger companies that everyone knows right now.
Okay. And have you raised any funds?
We didn't raise the funds in imagination of when you imagine investors and funds. Back again, 10 years ago, we also started developing our own software. It's our own CRM system for managing phone calls, emails, and live chats. So for that purpose, we raised amount of money, but in 2-3 years, within these 2-3 years, when we basically raised those money, we returned them back.
Okay.
So basically, I can say or couldn't say that we raised.
You can.
Yeah, then we returned them back because we wanted to take back our shares of the company.
Equity, yes.
Yes,
And they accepted the same amount?
No,
interest?
we gave more. We gave more, of course,
okay.
with the interest. With the interest,
Yeah,
of course, it's business. Yes, and I think it was a good deal for both sides. Anyway, and also currently we have advisors. One advisor, it's Dan Engel, he was a former Google marketing director for AdWords. So we also just attracted him to become one of our advisors. But we didn't raise any serious something like that, because we always try to bootstrap and reinvest right now, as it's what we're doing right now, reinvesting in our ideas in the spin-offs companies like Label Data or AdStuff team.
Super. And do you have any advice for companies that want to attract advisors?
If the company would like to attract advisors, I would recommend to start attracting them beforehand. Even then, before even they would think that there is a point to attracting money, earlier in advance, because usually when you need the money, you can decrease the price because there is an emergency of raising some money. So you always need to have a good relationship with the advisors, with all these venture firms and other organizations, even if it's angel investors, for instance. And also, it's difficult. It's easy to say find your differentiation point. But you need to really find why your company or your product, your service would be better than competitors. It's okay that, for instance, you have a product that is, that someone else has the same company, but you need to understand why your product will be better. So it's something that I think it's very important. And the last but not least, it's the team. Also, what I figure out, it's very, very important for founders, for investors, to understand that the founders, they have very good relationship between, each other.
Yes.
As well as they don't have other focuses. Founders should focus only on this project, because sometimes I also met some, very young startups, and they were reaching out to me and said okay, can you invest money? And I do have some, companies that I also invested something into them, because I realized that, okay, here I can give my advisorship, I can give my mentorship, but I see that these people, they basically leave these companies. They don't have side projects, side jobs or something like that. So it's also very, very important.
Yeah. Great answer. I love it.
Thank you.
And in these 12 years, what is your biggest challenge at the company?
I always say the same answer to this question.
Okay.
I think it really keeps the same, because my motivation is also my challenge, and it's basically people. When my team, when my team has some successes, I'm super proud and I'm super happy and I'm super motivated as well. But again, sometimes when my team has some fails or something's going on wrong, it's always for me kind of challenge. Retain people, manage people, ask or make people think on their own and make decision on their own. It is difficult.
Yeah, you're obviously an international company, but you're from Ukraine. Ukraine, as you mentioned, has the war affected you in any way?
Of course, it does. It's still, in process, because you can't, leave and do not think about it. I'm currently in Kiev, and a big part of our team also in Kiev, even though we have many different hubs all over the world. So we have hubs in Eastern Europe, we have hubs in South Africa, we have hubs in South America. However, the war, of course, I couldn't say that it was not predictable. Everyone was talking about it, and we started even creating different business continuity plans and different disaster recovery plans beforehand. But when it's in theory, it's one thing, but when it happens in real world, in real life, you're always shocked, because it's completely different life. What I should say that, when the COVID happened in 2020, 2020, I believe, in March. Yeah. So we also rearranged our processes, and we also went online a lot. So when the war basically has started here in Ukraine on February 21st, I would say that for us, we were prepared because COVID taught us, like how to work, operate remotely from different parts of the world. It's basically,
Yes.
again, people just moved away. They went to Poland, to Europe, to the USA, and we already had all the systems, computers, laptops available for them. However, we have some clients, as I mentioned before, we have fintech clients, for instance. They require, I would say, secure environment. So for those clients, for instance, we have teams, they still work in the office, and we have shelters in the office. So because, for instance, if it's a company like MasterCard, we can't work remotely because we have different compliances that we also have in place, like PCI DSS level 1. We also have different certifications. So if we are talking about e-commerce projects, SaaS projects, hardware companies, people can work remotely. We can give them install VDI or DLP. But for some projects, we of course have infrastructure and environment in the offices. And people work here in Kiev, in other countries and cities. They still work from offices. But the war, of course, impact we has a huge impact to all of us. But I would also say that we became very organized and united in terms of what we do right now, what even goals and aims we put till the end of the year, because we help a lot to get this victory, because we really believe that we will win. So we're trying to do everything possible and impossible. And one of the very important thing is continue giving the opportunity of giving work jobs to our people, because they have families. And if, of course, they lost, let's say, job, that will be very difficult for them. That's why we are eager in what we're doing and trying to make sure that they have job tomorrow in 1 month and whether they live here in Kiev or in other cities.
Yeah. Every bad situation has a good thing in it, and this certainly made you stronger. Yeah, and Ukraine is definitely a very brave nation, and it is. I mean, I have no comments about it. I'm not trying to put any pressure on you, only if you want to answer. But why didn't you choose to move for your own personal safety?
I moved in the beginning for 1.5 months. And when we in Kiev, especially in the capital, the the closest cities were de-occupied, I came back. I just love this city. I love country, and every my family, every person who I really love, and my relatives, they basically they stayed here.
Yes.
So that is why I decided to came back. And that's fine for families who also let's say move to other countries, maybe because they have kids or something like that. I don't have kids yet. That's why I decided that I came back. If something would happen again, very bad, closer to Kiev, then I would just sit in my car and I will drive somewhere else. But because I have this
things are now safe.
Flexibility. Right now, of course, we have this I would say alarms and everything all the time. But people are very adaptive creatures, and we just used to it and try to find something good in very routine and very like original things.
Yeah, I think at the first time you're scared, but easily you become okay with it. You start to accept it.
Yeah,
Hard.
it's also scary
Yes.
to be
Yes,
honest, to
absolutely.
accept
Always.
the situation itself, because you understand that okay, right now you have this situation, but at least it's not right, exactly right here, the peak
Yeah.
of the situation. So yeah, and
But
again,
I think people's emotions were also extreme. So the first day is scary. After that, we'll beat them. After that, again, I'm scared. So it's a roller
yeah,
coaster.
it's roller coaster. There are definitely different waves, but I would say when you stay here and you also even go to coffee shops or to restaurants, to grocery stores, you also help economy. If everyone
Yes.
will move away, then again there is no market relationships, and it's very difficult to help economy itself. So that is why I also try to keep a small businesses, to buy something,
Very nice.
because it
Yeah.
is very important.
Yeah, those were my questions on Ukraine. But now let's move on. I don't know, more enthusiastic topics. I saw that you are a Forbes Council member, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell
Yeah.
us your experience with that?
Yeah, I to be honest, I became a Forbes Tech Council member, I don't know, like maybe 4 years ago or so. And I was the first Ukrainian women to be accepted in
Wow.
Forbes Tech Council. I couldn't say that I use it currently very actively, but like as every community and as every platform where you are become a member, it's totally up to you what kind of benefits, what kind of pros you will get, because you
Yes.
can be registered but you never make any post. So if for instance, it's also a recommendation. If someone will decide to go whatever, it's a Forbes Tech Council or any other membership platforms, it's only up to this person how great contribution will be and how big impact will be, and will be like, let's say, a return on investment. And in this case, investment, it's basically time, right?
Yeah. Alex, our CEO, is also a member of the YEC council, and yeah, the benefits for us were amazing, absolutely amazing. And I wanted to see how it was for you. I think they're very
Yeah,
similar, Forbes
but
Council and Young
yeah,
Entrepreneurs Council.
but YAC, it's Y Combinator, right? Or
No,
YAC?
it's with Forbes,
It's also at Forbes. Okay.
from what I know. So
Okay.
we get to write one article a month, every
Yeah,
month
yeah.
in Forbes.
Yeah.
So they're similar.
Yeah.
And I also saw that you're helping women in entrepreneurship. You're a mentor of different events, and I'd love to, I don't know, to talk more about this, because we need to support that.
Absolutely. I mean, like, I help different hackathons, but not just women directly, but even it's just an entrepreneurship or people who, like also would like to grow their startups or companies, or I don't know, people who have ideas and they'd like to turn it into the real business. So usually, like there are different formats. If we're talking about hackathons, the recent ones that I took part, it was also in Kiev, basically. And as you know, like it usually takes 2-3 days. And luckily, I'm a member, and I'm just helping those teams. But people who really taken part, like a small startups, they spent 2-3 days in a row, like just validating their ideas. And it's great energy. It's great when you have those, sometimes even people whom you don't know them, put in different teams. And you also, on the other hand, you have experienced people with the different industries who can advise you, who can help you. And why I like it, because you can make from idea, MVP in just, like no time, and then to see whether you can have a better version or kind of prototype, and to see if you can market it and if there is a target audience, especially for this product or service. Because, there are so many ideas, but sometimes there is no demand for such services or products. So these hackathons, it's very cool initiatives of different countries and different, again, companies or organizations to support those entrepreneurship spirit, I would say. So I really love it.
And do you have any advice for founders?
For young founders, for the founders who just did okay. Yes. I would say that my advice will be, it's never, do not give up, because again, it's based on my experience. When I do remember, my experience first 4-5 years, as I told you, were very, very slow. And every month, every week, I was telling myself that, okay, one more month and that's it. And it's when you're knocking in the door, someone will open you. It's the same as here. If you believe in your idea, just try keeping knocking and surround yourself with people who really also believe in you and think that you're doing right things. And also, I think that the second thing that I'd like also to advise, it's whatever happens, very, very good things or very, very bad things, just let it go. I mean, do not be very frustrated in something very, very bad is happening. And do not be a super, 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 super happy if something good is also happening, because everything is changing. So, I mean, you need to kind of control these things when it's something very bad and something very good, because it's just like life, and something can change tomorrow.
Brilliant. I see this to myself. One day let's go, this is amazing, and the other day, I have lots to do.
You know what? You know what? People always also ask me how you can do everything, or why some frustrated or you do not frustrated. But last couple of years, I'm telling to myself that my relationship with my companies is kind of, I don't know if you can say this, but a game. So I'm playing a game. I do not always become frustrated, even if it's something very good, is not very, I was gonna say good or bad, but something that let's say I haven't planned or something like that, because I said, okay, it's okay. It's like in a game. You do not try to emotionally dive into all the situations. But when you feel that you're tired, I always also allow to myself to take a break, at least a couple of days, and turn off the phone, because it is also very, very important.
Absolutely. Yeah, we tend to have expectations, so that hurts us.
Yeah.
But if you see it as a game, and as Gary Vee said, you need to learn how to lose, and you need to like losing, because it's part of the game. You cannot win every day.
It's experience, always. Also, someone told that you can't fail if you do something. You are not going to fail if you do nothing. So it's like something like this. If you're achieving something, of course, and you don't know how to do it. And my challenge personally, for instance, I still have this challenge. I can't find a person who will be my mentor. Yeah,
we all have our problems. Yeah.
I mean,
you never get rid of problems.
But I'm searching, because I need to have this very authority person, because I have very specific questions and I can find it. And I was like, okay, but people with whom I work, they're lucky because they have me. But sometimes I'd like also to have someone.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I don't want to take any more of your time. I just have one last question. What's your favorite software?
I have a couple of them, to be honest. If we're talking
I'd love to hear them.
If we're talking about iPhone, what I love, it would be an application called Day One. It's a diary application, and I have my diary from 2012. So
Wow.
yeah, I can open it and see what I've done, like, I don't know, 8 years ago, exactly in this day. And it's so cool because, yeah, you can reflect on your previous life, on your past. And also what I love, and I use it very often, it's craft. It's also, some people use Notion, but what I like and love in craft, that I can have different pictures and different backgrounds in my notes that I have. So I use craft specifically for all my like very private and my work notes. So if you would like to make a note, I use craft application.
And you already mentioned that you created your own CRM, right?
Yeah,
your
we have
company?
yes.
And the other software that you use at your company, if you can share them with us.
Yeah, so basically, if we're talking about also CRM systems that we, for instance, use because our clients use, and we know how to integrate it, we know how to work in it, and we know how to optimize it. It's, of course, it's Intercom, it's Freshdesk, it's Groove HQ and Zendesk, for instance, and there are many more. If we're talking about like just a business-related application, so number one will be Slack and Asana. And of course, then we already have I would say also the same Notion, for instance, and all like Apple related applications, starting like Keynote, Pages, and so on.
Thank you so much for being here, and I loved all your answers. I love all your thinking. I'm truly grateful, and I'm really confident that the community will love this interview, and they have a lot to learn. So yeah, I'm truly grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kristen, for having me today. Thank you so much for your questions.